Oh, I'm kidding.
We're short on VPs as it is.
No, I just thought it would be fun. It's the trendy thing. It's the shade. All right. Can someone online confirm that you can see the slideshow? Perfect. Wonderful. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 15th SGA session of this academic year. I heard, if I remember correctly. Yes.
Did you not just name the live stream the 14th one?
Yes.
Don't do that to me.
No. Okay. Anyways, in terms of roll call, Isaiah, where are we in terms of voting numbers?
11 out of 10.
Yeah. Perfect. We are doing lovely. We can actually vote on our wonderful 5 different things. So tonight is going to be really, really busy. So let's try and make this as fast as we possibly can, if possible. Mainly, we have 2 different nominations for 2 different positions. One in Derek Hill for a Senate nomination, and one for the VP of Residence Life in Naeem. We also have a student board presentation and proposal today, as well as an open letter and a resolution. After that, we have reports, and I've been informed that the campus administration reports are 3 slides long. So without any stops, let's get on to Senate nomination of Derek Hill. So Derek and Isaiah, if you wouldn't mind giving like a little spiel about like why you want to be in SGA, what you can bring, so on and so forth.
All right. So, so I'm nominating Derek for the Senate. I think he'll be a great asset to the Senate, mostly because he is a current first year at Illinois Tech. He has expressed interest in me before and how student government works. We actually met in the undergraduate admissions office where I work. He was a junior hawk, this is still junior hawk. And he asked me questions back then about student government. He asked me verbatim, what is student government? So then I kind of give him a little to go that way. But I really think he'll be a genuine asset to SGA, just considering how young he is, and he will give a good new perspective on some of the issues that are going on around campus, especially those first year issues that we might not really see a whole lot about because all of us are kind of older. But yeah, that's why I nominated Derek. I'll let him come up, introduce himself, and also explain what he thinks as well. That's all I got.
Hello, I am Derek Hill, for those of you who don't know. Just a little bit about me. I'm a first-year mechanical engineering student. I'm from a small town in South Dakota called Rapid City, which a common joke there is that it's so flat you can see your dog run away for 2 weeks. I think I would be a good fit for student government for a lot of the reasons that Isaiah said. My biggest piece is that I'm an outsider. Like Isaiah said, I hardly knew anything about student government. But I'm excited to learn and understand, and mostly to help my fellow students at this school through some different issues that I've been just generally hearing about in my first year.
Okay. Cool. Thanks. So as usual, we're going to be moving into the 5-minute question and answer period. Derek, who wouldn't mind standing here or kind of around, doesn't really matter. Does anyone have any questions? Nova.
Yeah. So I have 2 pretty bog standard questions. The first one, if people have had problems answering before, so it's fine if it's a little hard to answer. But as you may or may not know, the Senate has a history of having like problems with attendance and keeping our senators. Is there any way that you could guarantee to us, or anything you could say to us to let us like kind of know that you will be here for the long haul?
There's nothing that I can say that will guarantee to you that I will be here for the long haul. But I have held leadership positions in the past in different organizations through high school and through different events. And I stayed true to those for the entire run of my term, so to say. So I hope that that would give some sort of indication. Sure.
Yeah, no, that's good. And then the second one is you are not bound to any committee, but is there any committee within SGA that particularly interests you?
Well, I've heard of engagement, of course. I've always been very interested in finances, and so that was one in particular that I was really thinking about looking into.
Are there any other questions? Naeem.
Derek, my question for you is, though you still are a freshman, you've of course been here long enough to get a feel of things at IIT. Is there anything you'd like to enact change regarding?
There's nothing immediately that I would change, but I think from what I've understood of some complaints that I've heard, I think we need to be more focused on getting things organized within student government. From what I've understood, there's been some issues with just things slipping through the cracks that probably shouldn't. And so I think that's just an issue of manpower and getting more people involved. And so that's really what I want to help with.
Are there any other questions?
Move to discussion.
Motion to move to discussion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Do we have any objections? All right, seeing none, Derek, if you wouldn't mind leaving the room real quick. Okay, Nova.
Yeah, so as far as I'm aware, he's only been here for the last 2 Senate meetings, but I do want to say with my limited experience with him at the last committee meetings, he was sitting on my committee for most, if not all of the duration of that committee meeting. And it does seem like he is genuinely interested. There was I guess the only reservation I have is it doesn't seem like he has anything particular he wants to work on yet, but that's always something that's not really a big problem. You always kind of learn as you learn the system. So with that, generally, he seems, like he's a very competent individual and he does want to work within student government. So he has my full support.
Elio?
I'd like to second that statement. That only knows paid work on the
Of K-Stick, but judging from his attitudes here and his general demeanor, I think he would be a great fit for SGA, specifically senator. Only because, one, he understands that we need manpower. And I think he'll be able to help out in maybe spreading awareness throughout the first years in getting more people to participate.
Are there any other points of discussion, comments, concerns?
I'd like to move the previous question.
Do we have any objections to that? Seeing none, you can go ahead and release the voting form. Now, we'll be moving on to the Vice President of Residence Life nomination, Naeem Mohammed. Thank you, Elio. Naeem?
Hello, everyone. It's good to see you all. Hello, those in the virtual world. It's good to see you too. I hope you're having a great night. For those who aren't aware, my name is Naeem Mohammed. I am currently a fourth here at Illinois Tech, pursuing a bachelor's in computer science and a master's in ITM with a specialization on computer and information security. However, I am currently also the president of an organization known as RHA. RHA, for those who aren't familiar, stands for Residence Hall Association, as one of the sister organizations of the Student Government Association. We are primarily in charge of advocating for resident student voices here at IIT. When it comes to making the residence life experience more equitable, fair, and more comfortable for all of our residents here on campus. So it's a very big job. And I was over the moon when I found out that SGA was going to be splitting its formerly known as Vice President of Student Life position into multiple parts, such as VP CL and VP RL, Campus Life and Residence Life. The VP Student Life position has always been more campus life focused, and RHA President has always been more residence life focused. So it would make sense, instead of having RHA communicate via a proxy senator, to just have that the head of the Residence Hall Association be represented in the exec board, the rest of SGA, so that we would have that input at our Student Government Association. So I think this change makes a lot of sense. Is the reason why I'm here. Upon election, I will continue doing what I'm already doing,
just hosting RHA every other week, every other Thursday. We have one next Thursday after this week. We're very excited. We have almost 50 floor representatives registered now. I just registered one last week. They are all very excited to continue working with their RAs. We had a big boost in applications, the RA role this past floor representative program, and this resulted in a very high quality amount of work being done with RAs in terms of floor content, such as bulletin boards, as well as an increase in programming on different floors, as floor representatives have had a much more direct impact on the programming that is taking place on their floors. They've had direct input, and they've been able to do hands-on planning with their resident advisors. So it's made the experience a lot better for everyone, as floor reps get the opportunity to get that hands-on experience with their RA for their eventual RA applications, and RAs get that assistance that they desperately need in their jobs. So we're very happy with that program. We're hoping to implement more this coming semester in terms of residence life engagement. BPRL is just a great way for me to keep everyone in SGA informed regarding what's going on in the residence life sphere. Any questions?
All right, we'll be moving on to our questioning period. Nova?
This is a very not standard question, but Naeem, are you worried that you might be too awesome and overqualified for this position?
Honestly, no. I do not think that. Well, I do think you need to have a love for what you do to serve in any student government or advocacy position. I do not believe that my position requires any special qualification or naimification and attitude or anything of that nature. I do encourage people, especially during the next cycle for this position, assuming should I be nominated or not, run for this position if you are interested in representing residence life. Like I said, I'm a fourth year going on fifth. I won't be here forever, obviously, but you do not need to be anyone special or me to participate in this position.
Keeping it humble, I see.
Are there any other questions? Tessa? Do I have a second?
Second.
Do I have any objections? Seeing none, Naeem, leave the room, please.
I will put on my where is it? The Game Show X headphones where I listen to music and can't hear my other answers. Bye-bye.
Okay, so let's go. Our Nova.
Easy yes.
Cool. Short, simple, Elio.
Tessa first.
I think it would be rather silly of us to vote no on this.
There. Elio.
My name is very professional. I've worked with him before. SGA. So yes, easy.
Do we have any voices of objection / concern? Why? Seeing none, do I have a motion to move?
So moved.
Right. Do I have any seconds? Do I have any objections to that? Online?
No.
Perfect. All right, go ahead and release the voting form and I'll bring Naeem back in. Perfect, perfect. Cool.
Why did you hit my shot?
That was something I did before the meeting. Now I get satisfied in that. Perfect. Moving on, we have the student org proposal in Podium Pros. Yeah. I have your presentation right here. Just making sure online can still see the presentation, correct? I can. Okay, got it. I don't have a clicker, so you can just hit the arrow keys. So I don't want.
So my name is Cam Bracewell.
My name is Shreya Suresh.
And we are the Podium Pros. So I'd first like to start by asking you guys a question. Who here has ever agreed with this statement? I am afraid to speak in front of this crowd. Can you see some hands? Some hands, yeah. All right, now what about this statement right here? I'm afraid to talk to this person. Maybe it could be, potential employer, middle school crush. Have ever felt this statement? some little fact about me is I am currently afraid, thank you, to speak in front of this crowd. I know I'm not the best public speaker, but one thing I do know is that I'm also nervous.
Yeah, that's out of the way. Let's get to some numbers. So LinkedIn studies have shown that 45% of people have turned down promotions or opportunities at their workplace just because of a simple fear of speaking to someone that they work with. Can you imagine that being held back just because you weren't able to say, hey, I want to do something, or hey, I think I can do this, right? A direct quote from one of these people that was participating in this study was, I didn't apply for a leadership position because the application process involved presenting to senior management, just standing up to people who see everything you do anyways. We're too nervous to take it. And this problem plagues many people across the workplace, in the real world, or just in regular social situations. Think of how many friendships that you could have had that you missed out on just because you were too afraid to walk up to someone and say hello. Now it's Jeopardy time. IIT for 600, the answer is 0. Does anyone know the answer? I guess not. The question is, what is the number of dedicated public speaking clubs at IIT?
So the real question is, why a club? We found a club would be the best way to get to students and have a place to practice your public speaking skills and connect with other students. Also, a club can help us measure student progress. And we measure student progress with a class away from class. We start a curriculum for students. We guide them, have checkpoints, and have different goals that they can accomplish at their own pace. And the long-term goal of ours is to partner with Toastmasters International, which is a professional public speaking organization.
Now, let's come back to IIT for a second. The importance of this club to IIT, well, Toastmasters itself is a huge organization, and partnering with them to bring attention to IIT, and it's good attention. It would not only have a great impact on our campus, but also the surrounding area around our campus. The Bronzeville community would be amazingly affected by just a chance to have people reaching out. Now, let's bring it back towards our campus. This club will boost our students' bodies and social life, because a lot of students I've seen walking around with their hands in their pockets, heads down. That was me first day of school. He remembers. But with this club, we can make it so that people like that are encouraged to raise their heads high, walk with their chest out. And on top of that, not just for school, this club will help our students in the future. Back to what I was talking about earlier, when our students eventually graduate from college and go to the workplace, they're going to have to interact with people. This club will give them the basis, the preliminary education in order to be able to effectively do that. And of course, we will provide our Podium Pro services during school hours. However, we will also be able to provide students with an outside of school hours service in form of Toastmasters. Now, for our planned events, our first event will be a TEDx Wilmette. It's a TED Talks, you've heard of them. April 22nd, 2023, completely free of cost. The students can attend if they wish to, and it's just to kind of expose students to the world of professional speakers. These people will be role models towards our students who will just serve as inspiration. Now, our big event for the club will be our end of the year debate. Any student who is involved with our club can submit a topic, and then any student who is involved in the club can sign up to participate. They pick a random topic, they get to debate. Pretty simple, pretty effective, and $300 for food if, you know, just an estimate. And now, Toastmasters thing I was talking about. This will be completely optional. There is a $20 down payment per student, one time only. Then $90 per year. The official Toastmasters website does say $45 per month. Same thing. Per 6 months. Oops. There you go. And then in order to actually start up just our connection with Toastmasters, it'd be a one-time $125 fee.
Now, who here agrees to this message? The ability to speak and convey a message is important. All right, now looking at that, we understand that speaking is important. We all agree about that. We also see that there are no active student orgs on campus for speaking, and then this whole club would benefit the school and the surrounding community. That brings the question, why don't we have this club?
Answer period, 5 minutes. I believe Elio was first.
First of all, I'd like to say your idea is great, and first question. Guys, first years?
We have both first years.
Both first years, that's impressive. So second question I have for you is basically, so you're trying to reach out to, students who are at the future, hopefully working at a very professional setting. They're required to speak to people that they typically may not speak to, or have interviews that might typically be important. Now, my question is, and this is coming from the perspective of someone who's not an engineer or like a science architect. So our interviews tend to be a bit more different because we present different sort of topics, portfolios and all that stuff. How would you be able to help the different students on this campus with their different majors be able to achieve those types of different categories of interviews?
I would say it's more than just an interview because you need to talk to people in general. We saw one thing about promotions, and if you want to get into the high levels of a job, you're going to be in the business side, right? You're going to be
General.
yeah, you're going to be looking over, and you're going to be running like a group of other people, right? And so these skills are just in general. You still need to talk to people. No matter what job you're in, you're not doing it just like completely alone. So you still need general skills and communication skills. I believe Naeem.
Naeem?
Thank you. So I have a few questions. I'll keep them brief. So first, I just want to say thank you for presenting today. The first question was regarding specific subset of students. I noticed, especially when I was working on doing presentations for classes, that students that specifically didn't have English as their first or native language struggled a lot more with presenting in the public sphere. So are there is there any sort of program that you all plan to have within your organization to help support those students, especially considering we consist of a lot of international students?
English is actually not my first language, and I remember clearly learning English back when I only knew how to speak Kannada. And I am able to work with people who don't quite know English to the same caliber as me or Cameron. And I'll just sort of ease them into it because at the end of the day, a conversation is a conversation, regardless of language. The same topics, the same ideas apply, and the same concepts are held universally. I will apply those concepts and also kind of ease them into using a new language that they may not be 100% familiar with, especially since a lot of our, not all of them obviously, but quite a few of our international students are from India. So I'm very capable of understanding their accent, their dialects, whatever vocabulary they may use.
Thank you. And then in addition to that, the Kaplan Institute offers a variety of different things, such as the Pitch Tank, Innovation Day, where students are often, expected to perform and present their ideas to a crowd. Will you be working with the Kaplan Institute at all to have any events in your organization, or looking to work with them in the future?
To get our organization established, and we will be able to properly branch out around campus, and then whatever opportunities that may arise, we will be more than happy to take them.
And the last question is for PROS, PROS. Is that play on words and can also mean prose, PROSE? As in how language is communicated, written, and spoken.
We didn't think of that, but if it makes you happy, it can.
Thank you.
Within Darren?
So this is a pretty, it's not to hold anything against you, but I've taken a look at your budget. It's very small, but are you guys aware that student boards already get $120 for operations/advertising? Because I see that was something you listed on there.
We were told by Graham that we were given an initial amount of money, but we didn't really understand how much it was. He didn't give us an exact number. And one thing that Graham also told us was that it's better to just put something on there. Even if it is covered, it's just better to just have it on there.
That is very, all student orgs automatically get $120 for operations. So it would easily cover the costs you have there. I mean, that is a good practice. If you don't know, the worst they can do is just say, we already cover it. But yeah, I just want to make sure you guys knew that.
So I was curious, were you guys going to be teaching get up in front of teaching skills, or conversational walking up to people, or were you mixing of both, or just
It'll be a comprehensive kind of course on both and anything in between.
We're planning on starting with a lot more, the basics, conversational, getting up, all that. icebreakers, doing all that. And then at the end of the year, we have an end of the year debate that we talked about. We plan on leading into some of those, but we also plan to have, it doesn't have to just be one or the other. We're still crafting like a curriculum that we would have. So if you want to work on becoming a better professional speaker, we have one of those. If you just want to get more social, make some more friends, we have it.
With that, we have run out of time, so if there are any additional questions, we will have to require a motion to extend. But right, we have a motion to enter into discussion. Do I have a second? Do I have any objections to that? Seeing none, if you would please leave the room. Thank you for the clicker, by the way, Naeem. So, points of discussion, comments, concerns. I'm going to start with Elliot. I've been starting with you, Nova, a lot. Elliot.
I'll say that they appear confident. Their plan seems pretty solid. I see no reason why we shouldn't vote in favor of them. The only issue I have, though, is that they didn't really answer my question as I had expected to be answered, because regardless of whatever, but there's different types of things that you'd be talking about, which require a different type of observation of skills. So, that's one thing that sort of didn't rub me the wrong way, but it's sort of something that I think they should probably look into a bit more, is that not every interview is the same.
If they are to, regardless of if they pass or not, would you like me to forward that comment on to them?
I'll actually, if they stick around, I'm going to talk to them.
So, okay. Gotcha. Nova.
Overall, I don't see many objections. I do agree the way they answered Elio's question was a little weird. But overall, I mean, like, even if we assume like, a little bit of hesitancy, like one of the big reasons is like, do we want to one of the reasons why we're here is, do we want to allocate SAF funding for the student org? And the reality is their funding is like tiny, like super, super tiny. It's not including advertising because that goes under operations. It's $300. So honestly, I think even like having a little bit of hesitancy, I really don't see any reason why not to approve this. They have good intentions. It seems like they have some structure they want to work with, and the risk is low. It's not like we're, a student org coming in here with $4,000 and we have this hesitancy. So I would urge all the members to vote yay.
Yeah, so do you have a point?
With their budget that they were talking about like the Toastmasters fees, which are per student, which I'm not quite sure how that works with like finance board and stuff, but that's one of the areas where I'm a little hesitant there, because that's something that if they get a lot of members that are interested in that, then their price balloons. Yeah, that's my only hesitancy with it.
I believe Nova was first.
So regarding that, so if they want to make students pay for it all, that's totally fine by finance board. They also do have options, finance board does, to help partially fund those types of fees. I don't remember the code off the top of my head, but they do have a specific code for handling that. So if they wish to seek funding to help students fund it. I mean, it was like a $25 fee anyway. So it would be like, it's like either 10% or up to $10, whichever is less. So it would be a very small amount either way. But if I'm remembering the code. So there is SAF funding, like codes for that, but they also didn't say they wanted SAF funding for that in general.
Before you go, Naeem, if I'm remembering correctly, I thought the fee would be $110.
Was it? Am I mixing it up?
Yeah, I believe that there was a $20 initial payment for each student, and then $90 was the.
Oh.
25 down, forever.
Yeah.
And then 90.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Naeem.
definitely not cheap. I was gonna say, a couple of things. For one, I agree with like Tessa's point. The Toastmasters thing kind of threw me off. I was still a little bit confused to what that was necessary for. But regarding the question I asked specifically about Kaplan, and I'm not gonna fully blame them for this because underclassmen aren't necessarily fully aware of things. The Kaplan Institute wouldn't be something that most underclassmen would be aware of. Something Kaplan's working on. I work there. But certainly, when you think of, places that already exist that can offer this sort of tutelage and help to a student org that wants to, promote public speaking and whatnot, that is kind of the first place that would come to mind. You would go to the place that does pitches and whatnot on the semesterly basis, because they can offer resources that we already have and provide that through their club to make it more accessible. So I'm just hoping they go through with that, but I just want to bring that up.
With that, we have roughly 30 seconds left. Do I have a motion to extend?
I don't have a motion to extend.
You do?
Yeah. I
You
have
can go ahead.
You have a what?
a quick comment.
Okay, go ahead.
On Naeem's point, if we should vote on it or not, I don't know, but I think we should push to them that maybe they should reach out to Kaplan if we pass the student org.
Also, I agree with what you're saying, and I also think maybe they should back away from Toastmaster focus and just focus on getting people there and get them talking. That would be very helpful.
I guess to sum up, work with what we have first, then maybe see if we need the Toastmasters thing. But I think there are a lot of resources on this campus that this club will be great at helping to aggregate for students.
That we have run out of time unless there is a motion to extend. So do I have a motion to extend or a motion to this question?
Motion to move the previous question.
Do I have a second? Second. Do I have any objections? Seeing none, we can go ahead and release the voting form. I'll get them back. Elliot, I can take care of it. Sure. Yes. So next, we're going to be moving on to the open letter about meal plan accessibility and availability. So Nova, take it away.
Thank you. If you've ever worked with meal plans at IIT, you might be able to relate with some of the problems I'm about to discuss. This is a pretty comprehensive letter. It's actually the longest letter I have ever drafted for SGA, and it goes over basically all the qualms I've heard and personally had with meal plans at IIT. I guess there's like 4 big points. One is the abysmal access that students have if you don't have a kitchen. First and second years are relegated to the 2 most expensive plans, being All Access and Flex 300. And then if you're a third year or above and don't have a kitchen, you get 1 extra option, which is Block 230. So with regards to that, this letter seeks to push ORL to expand it just basically 1 line down. If you've seen the table, it's 1 line down in the sense that first and second years would have access to Block 230. And then third years and above without an in-house kitchen will have access to the Block 150. This is also something that I personally witnessed working. A lot of second years, for whatever reason, last semester could just select any meal plan they wanted without any checks and balances. I personally took advantage of it. I know plenty of other of my colleagues who personally took advantage of it. And it worked. Like, these students were able to live off of it. 230 is not a small amount of meals to live off of. Like, there is a reason of protectionism. So like, help it so that first students aren't selecting super low meal plans and then are caught out in the water. But it's too much. Another point is commuter plans. Almost every other higher education student or institution publicly advertises their commuter meal plans. IIT is an exception in the sense that you have to email ORL to get access to the meal plan options. It's ridiculous. There's a reason why these are public. It helps increase transparency. It helps students learn about stuff before emailing. It helps students make decisions by themselves. I don't genuinely see any potential reason why they couldn't do it. Thirdly is accessibility, and this is a very big point in there. There is currently protocol, though very inaccessible, for students who cannot find a meal plan option that accommodates their specific needs. But this firstly, the requirements to sign up for this form are pretty strict. And it's very out of access for a lot of people. And secondly, with regards to that, I mean, Chartwells have said themselves that even if you do go through the process, it's very unlikely they will let you not have any meal plan and instead just like demote yours down 1, maybe 2 steps. So even if you do decide to go through all the steps that they require, there's a good chance you might not even get accepted still, or like get exactly what you want. So making sure we push for better access to that in terms of an accessibility for all students is extremely beneficial. And then the final thing, which is a more long-term thing, is creating more meal plans to begin with. A lot of other higher education institutions in Chicago and across the nation offer more than 5 plans. 5 plans does not accommodate student needs adequately. There's just too many gaps that for students to kind of make choices. Many offer at least 6, sometimes more, and a lot more depending on like certain years. So obviously that's more of like they have to figure out the money and how to distribute that. But everything else, I believe they can like adequately do, at least the first 2, within like, it should be like a switch that they just have to press, a drop down menu or whatever, because as evidenced earlier, second years were able to start signing up for meal plan options for whatever reason, because it was broken. So I reached out to a few student orgs. I have personally signed this. Naeem has co-signed this. I reached out to Neurodiverse IIT, and they were a great asset in correcting some of the language and making it more friendly. I also have the Young Democratic Socialists of America signing on it. I've also reached out to the Commuter Hall Association and the Greek Association because they have interest with the commuter part of it. And I'm very hopeful that they will also sign on to it. So yeah, I think this is a great letter. I've worked with a lot of people, and this has been something that my office has heard a lot, like just in general unhappiness with the meal plan. So I think this adequately hits all of the sore points.
Thank you, Nova. So as usual, we have our 5-minute question and answer period. Does anyone have a question?
Anytime more discussion.
So have you, like up to this point, like reached out to either Chartwells or to Oro, to someone in Abbott to figure out to what extent they're contractually obligated to offer a certain, either a certain set block of meal plans or offering to certain?
Okay. Yeah, so Chartwells they have no say in the meal plans. They literally have none. They serve the food. They don't choose how much it costs. Well, I mean, obviously they have to have a baseline cost, but they don't choose anything above that. They don't choose the meal plan options. The school is contractually obligated. Well, not contractually, it's legally obligated by the state to offer meal plans, and the students on campus have to have a meal plan. In that sense, I have not reached out in terms of, I guess, is ORL obligated by the university to have specific meal plans? If that's your question, I do not have any knowledge on that.
Tessa?
Wouldn't, in that sense, ORL be the university?
Yes, to my knowledge of how it works through talking with Chartwells, ORL is mostly the deciding factor. There could be, I think what Ben was trying to get at was there could be a kind of directive by the university to offer certain meal plans and that they're contractually obligated to do so. But I don't know if that exists. But this letter assumes that ORL is the deciding factor, because I know at least for certain Chartwells isn't.
Okay, that would have been my question. We have been very much misleaded. We've gotten complaints too, for sure, about meal plans for years. We were very much misled regarding the contractual obligations, should they exist even, about meal plans, and we're just told that it was out of our hands on many occasions. But apparently that does not seem to be the case, or at least it's worth exploring to see if it really is the case. So thank you for bringing that up. I'll have something for discussion.
Yeah, and if there is something like, if ORL ends up saying, oh, we're not actually responsible for this, then I think this could be also a great starter to see who the heck is, because I know for like Chartwells has been incredibly clear on the fact that they have nothing to do with this. They are just the providers. They are not the sellers of the meal plans.
We do have one online question with Narendra.
Can I say one comment before he goes?
This is regards to this. Rachel said meal plans, I think, are set by the university at large, not ORL, just. So.
Okay, well, I would say just like to that, my knowledge has been working with it that ORL, I mean, maybe it is the university at large, in which case maybe ORL could work to push it, because I do know ORL is the one that assigns the meal plans at the very least. If you want to change your meal plan, you go to ORL, it's part of your like housing and whatnot. So if it is the university at large, then I would love ORL to help us push it.
She said, I think Katie worked with the budgeting office. Yeah, that's Dean steps. So
Okay,
I just want to say that.
okay.
Narendra, do you have a question?
Yes, I did have a question. So I visited the center court few times, and then again they have switched back to the Mexican food instead of the Indian food part. Okay, I mean they were keeping Indian food, but then I don't know what's going on. Just wanted to bring that, and then the public safety thing. That's again the same issue going on. So I'm just holding on to it right now. I don't want to bring anything else. Just thought of bringing it over here.
So we will be discussing public safety stuff within our next voting item. As for other specific food advisory board concerns,
Right.
this isn't really about that. If you want to talk about it, either at open floor or the committee meetings, or if you just want to message me. But yeah, this letter kind of deals with other things.
All right. That's okay. That's okay. Thank you.
No
All right.
problem.
Yeah. All right.
Are there any other questions? None. Do I have a motion to move to discussion? Do I have a second? A second.
No objection. You can move ahead.
Cool. So discussion. With that. Hey, go ahead.
Just so aware. Yeah, RJ, we did very much sign on to this as we are advocates for any sort of additional choice when it comes to around meal exchanges. When I first came on board, it was even worse than it is now because it was their first year making it required that you only choose unlimited, and that was it. It did not even have Flex 300 as an option for first or second year without a kitchen. It does not make much sense to have third years, despite the fact they may be living in the same type of space, have access to additional options when first and second years don't. I mean, are we assuming third years all of a sudden have the newfound ability to eat less or something? I don't know. So that does not make any sense at all. Another very disturbing trend is regarding the logistics of the meal plans. In case anyone's is not aware, they are very well movie theater popcorn selected in terms of maximizing profitability in that case. For those who aren't aware, you are very much pushed towards certain options. And you'll notice towards the very bottom of the spectrum, the block 50, for example, that you have more meal exchanges, despite the fact you have less meals. For those who aren't aware, meal exchanges cost a meal exchange and a meal. In case you didn't know why you swipe twice, is because it costs a meal exchange and a meal. So your block 50 does not get you 50 meals and 25 meal exchanges. It gets you 50 meals, 25 of which can be meal exchanges. So just be very aware of that sort of thing because that is also another thing. And not many people know the guest meals. You only get that with the all access because they want to limit you being able to swipe immediate unlimitedly for multiple people that aren't yourself on that plan. But yeah, just so you all are aware of that. Yeah.
I'd like to note that so with the meal plans, it is perfectly possible to like just live off of a block 50 on campus. I know someone that has done that, and it's really just like there's a dependency on the dining hall and save some money. So it would be sure it is like not what the university wants because the university wants the money probably, or that is my assumption. But it is not like for like third years, it is more people who are third years are more likely to know how much they actually use the dining hall. So would possibly be more likely to sort of be able to decrease a meal plan. So
Nova?
First off, I had no idea that using a meal exchange also used the meal swipe. That is that is something I want to also tackle maybe when you, hopefully assuming you assume office. Also, I just looked at it and it's kind of ridiculous, the meal plan options we have. It's unlimited, which, you know, that's unlimited. 300, 230, a gap of 70, and then 230 to 150, and then it's 150 to 50. Like I almost certainly students who'd be interested in a middle ground there. Like it's a gap of a 100. So like, why is that a thing? I don't know. I think there's many things wrong with this. I hope that some of this hits most of it, but evidently it does not hit everything. But whoever is in charge of it, I hope we can get ORL on our side to push it, because they are definitely a large swing factor. They are the ones who ultimately administer these meal plans.
I would like to say that I would like to thank a couple of whistleblowers that work in Chartwells for disclosing how that system works. That is not explicitly written anywhere. I was very pissed to find out about the meal exchange thing. Do spread that news, especially to anyone who's looking at some of the lower plans, that is something. You are not getting 75 meals. You are getting only 50. And not many people are aware of that.
I just want to say online, Alejandro, for one, confirmed what you said about the whole meal exchange meal tap thing. Then he also said there is only about a $150 difference between the 300 and the unlimited plan. So I feel like there's not even much of a choice besides the unlimited for the second years.
Just want to affirm that I was like at the wrong end because I chose to block 50 last semester, and then I found that partly there's like only 50 meal plan. Actually, I had like a kitchen, so I could like live away with it. But like many other people who don't have like, so I don't want to like just go for grocery and stuff, especially during the winter. So.
Tessa?
yeah, with that, you can also, there's also like the Seaboard Get mobile app that like lets you check like how your meals are being used. So like you can check like the log of how many meals you've used, and you can see, yeah, when you go to center court, oh yeah, they take a meal swipe and a meal exchange. So yeah.
Minor related question. We're out of time. What was the name of that app?
Seaboard Get.
You can also use the Hawk card module.
The My Hawk card.
The My Hawk card module in your IIT portal has the same information.
There's also Hawkeye.
If you want me, I can send it to you.
Oh yeah.
So don't report your card stolen or missing if you have a temporary card at that point, because then your temporary card will stop working. I found that out the hard way.
All right. So with that, do I have a motion to move the previous question? Do I have a second? Do I have any objections? Seeing none, we can move on. For that, Nova.
That's great. It's very tight now. I'm
What did you say? Hello? Never mind. Going to get the chance, Nova?
Yeah. So this is something I promised in my the last Senate meeting. I'm making do on my promises, don't worry. Public safety, I think everyone has an opinion on them, mostly negative, some positive. So I have come to learn through all my meetings in facilities that with everything else I do, facilities in my regular meeting schedule with P safety through that is just not enough to handle all the P safety concerns. So with that being said, I would like to, what this resolution is to create a special committee that would meet separately from the other committees called the Public Safety Special Committee. I think he has the words mixed around on that, whatever. And the basic purpose of this is to solely meet on the grounds of public safety concerns. So this would be a semi-weekly group that would meet. It's not determined yet when it would meet, but we would meet at least twice. And through those 2 meetings, I would schedule a meeting with Andrew Yoakum, who's the head of public safety, and I would invite some of the members from the committee to join me in meeting with Andrew, specifically to handle public safety concerns and public safety concerns only. I think we all agreed in our last Senate meeting, the general consensus was they are doing some better things, but there is a lot of work to be done. So I hope you will all see the need to create this committee. It would only meet for a month, so there'd be 2 meetings before its dissolution. Most of the language in there is consistent with other committee, special committee creations. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's in the name, Public Safety Committee. So yeah, I mean, if you have any questions beyond that, specifically about language or anything, I'd be glad to hear it.
Cool. So, all the questions. No, does anyone have anything?
I'm good. Thank
This is fall under campus life.
So that was kind of my point, and it does fall under campus life. You're totally right. But with my campus life committee meetings, I handle a lot. And with my facilities meetings, which kind of I view as an extension of that campus life meeting, I handle more than just public safety. And so I would really like to have at least 2 committee meetings to specifically dedicate only to public safety stuff, to have everything, all of these public safety concerns that I have heard over the last year and put them in one spot and have a unified method of discussing it and then projecting it. Because as of right now, I kind of just do like within my facilities meeting, I do like 10, 15 minutes on it. And then, like 45 minutes on all the other facilities concerns I have. So I thought there was enough because there is a lot of public safety stuff. You might notice I would still chair this committee. And that is very intentional. I just wanted to have, it's more of to create a separate space separately from my campus life stuff so I can focus on it intensely.
What's up?
In that setting, do you intend to hold, say, public safety committee?
No. So there's specific language in there. I will be holding my campus life meetings every other week as we currently do it. The campus safety or the public safety meetings will be meeting outside of that schedule. So we will find a different time to meet outside of the Senate meeting that works for everyone, or at least mostly everyone. So we can meet together. That might be like a lunch on Friday or sometime on a Sunday. I'm not sure yet, but it would be, I'd send out a when to meet, but it would not be at the same time as my campus life meetings. They would be separate so I can have that dedicated space and time. And also it would make it more available to students because any committee is available to all students and senators. So if, for some reason someone couldn't do SGA meetings at this time, this also might make it available to them since we're meeting at a different time for the public safety stuff.
Are there any other questions? Do I have a motion to move to discussion? Okay, do I have a second? Do I have any objections to that? Seeing none, we can move into discussion. So, does anyone have any points, comments, concerns, anything along those lines? Or should we just move to the previous question? So, do we have a second? Do we have any objections?
That cop object.
You're after us. Spam.
Go ahead and release the voting form. And we can move on to our executors. Yeah.
Never mind.
Oh, Elio, it needs to be right now.
Wow. Okay. I have a bit. By a bit, I mean, yes. So, first things first, we have our General Assembly this Friday. I need you to promote the hell out of that. Promote. It is literally the most important event we have this semester. We have Rachel showing up. We have Janessa showing up. We have Dean Stets showing up. and possibly someone from Stephen Goodwin's office who is from Chartwell's. I still haven't gotten any responses from, oh, sorry, President Ross said he couldn't go. That was a given. He said he needed 2 months advance notice. Sorry, by he, I mean his person that's at the. Other than that, I still haven't gotten a response from T, and I still haven't gotten a response from the response, but I'm hoping to get them either tomorrow or. A WIIT show is in the works with AJ. WIIT, as you know, is the talk radio that we have here on campus. And historically, SGA did hold a talk show on WIIT. And so we're planning on rebooting that, in which we invite student org leaders, campus administration to do small little interviews with us. I think it's a really good idea. AJ brought it up to me. So it's in the works. If you have any recommendations or requests for people that you think might want to go on that show, please let me know. DM me, email me, whatnot, go ahead. Next thing, I'm planning on needing help for this. So this is something that I need help for. Later on the semester, I want to plan something that I'm titling for now, the SGA Gala. It's sort of in the planning stages and I need some help. If you can go ahead and help me, I'm going to start reaching out to Union Board. And basically, the plan is that this is some sort of SGA sponsored, SGA specifically sponsored gala that we hold for all students on campus. So I need help for a lot of these things, including sort of the location, the time. Oh, there's AJ. Elections for exec are coming up. As senators, you have a responsibility to start promoting this as well. I will start promoting it myself on the Instagram and the Discords, as well as on the digital screens here on campus. But please do promote this yourself, as we are short executive positions right now, and we need those to be filled, hopefully by this next election. Tabling. I have reserved tables for Tuesday the 21st and Thursday the 23rd. Like I said earlier, this is something that I was going to start, and I would like people to start helping out and sitting down at the tables during the lunch hour from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock. Basically, just sit at the table, take recommendations from the students that might be crossing your path, talk to them, ask them what their needs and problems are, and see if they have anything that we can help out with. So again, that'll be Tuesday the 21st and Thursday the 23rd. I'll reach out to people for help, specifically the engagement group. But if you do want to go ahead and help out with that, please let me know. And finally, rebranding. We have a new constitution. That also means we have a new SGA rolling around. And we're going to start with the logo, trademark, and slogan. Right now, our logo is the one at the very bottom. It's very mid-2010s, early 2010s-ish type of looking logo. And so one thing that we're going to try to work around and that I'm going to start up is hopefully doing what we tried doing last time, which was a logo design contest. We're going to be going through this constitutionally. So please bear with me. Second, our slogan, working hard to improve the student experience. No offense, but that's a very miserable slogan. It's very plain. It's not very good. So I need help coming up with a slogan, something that have the attention of the university as well as the students here on campus for the next few years. Actually, you had a question.
Can you do a contest for that as well? Can you do a contest for that as well?
That's what I was thinking. This is all going to be part of that. And then finally, our trademark. Our trademark is the second one, which is basically Student Government Association, Illinois Institute of Technology. As you know, Illinois Tech, as we call it now, has rebranded itself to Illinois Tech. Thus, we should probably also rebrand that to Illinois Tech. But like the logo, I'd like to see if some people could come up with an alternative to the design that we currently have. Something that may be a bit more sleek or something that may match the logo that we could get in the future. I'm going to start rolling those things out over the next few weeks, and we need participation. So this is something that I'm also asking to spread around campus, because SGA's new logo is kind of outdated. So yeah. Anyways.
Let's go. VP of Campus Life. It's actually pretty short. Food Advisory Board I met yesterday. There's soups at the center court if you're a big soup fan. Promotions throughout the month also in center court. They have one right now for like sandwich and a drink. If you're wondering what a promotion is, they have those like little signs both at the like at the desk and also sometimes at the register. Those are cheaper, like they are a deal. So I don't know if you're interested in trying something new, they do have those. And they'll have a few throughout the month. I don't remember all of them. Feedback machine is back. If you've been at the Commons at all for like the last week, you've seen it. The feedback from that has been consistent with previous years so far. But yeah, they have it. So if you want to voice your opinions about a specific day, do that. Also, not up here, but I didn't realize like how it is. If you've ever seen those advertisements, particularly outside the comments for like the text to chat feature, they very actively check those. Like if there's something out at the Commons, you can just text it and be like, hey, the Commons is out of whatever soda you like. And they will like, they see it like instantly, especially at lunch. So if you like have any instantaneous feedback or like concerns of the Commons, I would recommend saving that number. I was surprised actually because they were talking about it at the Food Advisory Board meeting. They get to that like lightning fast. So yeah, Food Advisory Board restructuring. I've been talking to your guys' ears off about it. It will be finalized Wednesday. I will be choosing who serves on it with my committee Wednesday. Obviously, if you are one of those people who signed up for it, you don't have a say in your own like position on it, but you have a say on everyone else's. So like if you signed up for center court, I'm obviously not going to take your opinion on the center court position because that's dumb. So yeah, and then Black History Month, there'll be features throughout the month. In the Commons, some select options. Just that's what they said. They didn't actually give me any specific days. I don't know if they have specific days. And then on the 15th, there will be a joyful event in the Commons. If you've noticed, they've been doing it since like spring of last year. They have these events where they do a menu overhaul and it's under the Joyful brand. I don't know what it'll be, but they did tell me they're doing it. Facilities meeting on the 3rd, that's Friday. Basically 3 big things. Fencing club, they will be having a presentation there. They had their equipment stolen. We're going to work with public safety and facilities to see how we can prevent that. The campus business center, they suck. So I'll be talking to Bruce about that because Bruce is their superior. And then some follow-ups on old concerns. Kasich people, I have not forgotten. I will check up on the laundry. Some other things I can't remember off the top of my head. But Amazon lockers is another big one. If you had an old concern that you've talked to me about and I haven't given you, like, there hasn't been a resolution to it yet, it's probably going to be talked about then. Strategic committee, if that has been approved, I will schedule that. If it's been approved, I'll probably send out a when to meet by Friday, by Sunday, who knows? So yeah, that's all I got. Who's next? President. Oh yeah, let's do that.
Oh, wait, can you, I can do it. I need to update the,
Oh, like get off of it and
yeah.
I'll talk about the bylaw convention if you want to do that.
I
Go
was
there.
asking if my thing was still here. I thought they walked out with it. Okay, good.
Oh.
The clicker. Oh yeah, I'm glad it's still here.
You go to that.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, about that bylaw convention. So it was supposed to be this past Sunday. I did not put it on my calendar though, and I also forgot to send out a calendar to the SGA group. So I didn't go because I just completely forgot about it. In fact, I woke up at 12:45 that Sunday. So like my bad. So like we're actually gonna do it this Sunday. I'll send out a calendar invite tonight. I promise that. And we'll get the ball rolling on that. Only thing I have is that, like, please reach out to me if you're interested in being on the Executive Election Commission. I really do need people for that to run elections, especially as soon as possible. Hopefully next week, we get to vote to approve it. This was, that's very important. What's up?
If you're running for executive office, you can't do that. Anyone else can.
But then someone cut me off. Wow.
I'm sorry. It's important. It's kind of important.
I was going to say it. I just wanted to do it. Yeah, that's a stipulation, we know. So yeah, please help out, especially if you're like graduating, like what else are you doing right now? So yeah, that's all I got.
That's what I was laughing about.
We'll go to you. Oh, next is Rachel. By the way, you have like 3 slides, so just so you know.
Oh, perfect.
That's mine.
Hi, Rachel.
Hi, guys. Okay, so get excited because I'm back and so are events, even though they were always back, but I'm just pretending it's because of me. So take a look. We have a really awesome calendar of events. It is Black History Month. If you did not know, if you live under a rock, get ready to celebrate. We have lots of events happening around Black History Month. And then one kind of cool thing is this is also Engineering Week in February. So we will be celebrating some engineering events as well. So if you have an event that's not on this calendar for some reason, reach out to us. We will add it and we will send it out in the newsletter. So, and I just came from the BSU event. It was awesome. We had 4 incredible panelists. Seth Graham actually ended up coming back and speaking as well. I know you guys know him. And it was at the DuSable Museum. It was very cool. We had the whole museum to ourselves, which was awesome. Next slide, if you will. All right. I am very excited. I know that I talked about this at the last meeting, but we are piloting a program called Wellness Wednesdays that we will have every month. And we're pairing with different orgs and different offices on campus. So if you had a chance, hopefully you did in January, to go to the bicycle with the blender on it and get a little healthy wellness snack and recipe card. That was our pairing with Chartwells. That was at the Boost event. So hopefully you got some of that. This month, February 15th, we are going to be doing condom bingo. So this will be our focus on Wellness Wednesday will be sexual health. We're pairing with student health and wellness. So we're going to play bingo. You will get free condoms. So that is exciting. But also we will be giving away some prizes. Chartwells is going to connect with us as well. So we'll be giving away free drinks at, what is the little coffee place called again?
Global Grounds.
Global. Oh, I'm so sorry. At Global Grounds, we've got some Illinois Tech socks. We've got some really cute little giveaways as well. And Lisa, one of the doctors at Student Health and Wellness, will be there. Also, just talking a little bit about sexual health, peppered in with our bingo. And then last slide is a little bit more about career services. So we have our virtual career fairs that are coming up this month on the 8th and the 9th. Sorry, that's me shaking. So make sure if you are looking for an internship, if you are looking for a job, this is the place to go. And then Bridge Recruiting is starting again. That will be on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So if you want to stop by, meet some cool companies, make sure that you are walking through the MTCC during the lunch hour. And that's all I've got. Thanks, guys.
Cool. Thanks, Rachel. So moving on from that, we have senator reports. Does anyone have anything they'd like to report? Jessa.
I will have you all know that I just created a new SGA logo.
What is it?
I think it's quite good.
Oh,
in general,
Honestly, it's a star. It's a
but concept. I like the guy.
Nova?
Yeah, I'm invoking my senator privilege. What about it? So former Senator Chris wanted me to share this. If you are a Muslim student or you know a Muslim student, there is like this promotion, and it was kind of on the events thing I saw for campus administration. The Muslim Student Association would like to have as many students participate in taking a picture of yourself just in a hijab and write a few words about how you feel about being in a hijab on campus, and then send that to MSA, Muslim Student Association at IIT.edu. I think it's a pretty cool program to help like bring light and awareness, and just let the IIT community know that these people exist, because they are a pretty big portion of our student community. So be sure to share that, even if you're like not a Muslim student. You probably know one or two or a few. So yeah.
Thank you. Jacob.
March 23rd is the college night at the Chicago Symphony Orchestra. $50 dollars for all college students. It hasn't been announced yet, nor can you get them yet, but mark your calendars. And I hope I'm planning on working with Elio to advertise this and have just SGA's name in front of it. I have a meeting with Chloe about funding students to go to it. And then the funding would then have just SGA's logo.
What? I was called out? Crazy.
Are there any other reports?
Senator, unfortunately.
So moving on, we have open floor. Naeem?
I'm going to give this basically like an exec report. This is an update, further update on the Kasich washer situation. For anyone who's familiar with RHD, our whole first semester and a half was dealing with washing machines. We had to take it to the president's meeting. It was a lot of fun. So I am not happy to be back talking about washing machines. And here we are. I did talk with Janessa late last week. Apparently they were misled about the timeline or the installation of the Kasich washers specifically. I did confirm with both residents on my call last week and with Janessa that the washers that were promised to be installed in all the buildings that weren't Cunningham and Carmen were properly installed with the exception of Kasich Hall. So they're still working on that. I'm checking in again next week with her and during the RHA meeting, and we'll see where that's going. It should hopefully not extend past the semester again like it did last time. Just as a note, departmental programming is starting with RHA and ORL. If anyone remembers, we had monthly events last year that took place, including we had it was kind of a semi-late night sort of fun thing, costume contest. With ORL last year, we had Valentine's, we have a variety of different things, different months. So that's coming back. That's being chaired by Residence Hall Director Adriana and SRA Zach are handling that. And then for the RA application, those have all been received for quite a while now. RHD Aaron is handling that and is also using the metrics from the RHA meetings to administer those. But whoever gets selected should be getting decisions information back soon. That's for the next part of that process.
Are there any other things that should be known for open floor?
Nominations.
Cool. Seeing nothing else. Not that.
Oh. Oh, is there a surprise?
Not that. Not that. Doing the oaths of office.
Yay!
Because both nominations.
Speak your truth.
Both nominations did pass. I'm not 100% certain on the actual votes, so
It was unanimous.
unanimous.
Yeah.
Cool. Neat. So, Derek, if you wouldn't mind repeating after me, please. Because we're doing the senatorial oath of office first, and then we're doing the BPRL one. So, I, Senator, do hereby affirm that I shall justly support and defend the Constitution and the bylaws of the Student Government Association of the Illinois Institute of Technology. I vow to fulfill my obligations to my constituents and my duties as a senator to the best of my ability. Congratulations. So with that, we'll be moving on to the VP of Residence Select. So Naeem,
You repeat after G.
Yes, and I do want to be known that I did not break my previous exec vows I took this past semester because I'm coming back in a better position than before.
So, I say your full name.
I, Naeem Muhammad,
Do hereby affirm
do hereby affirm
that I shall justly support and defend
that I shall justly support and defend
the Constitution and bylaws
the Constitution and bylaws
of the Student Government Association
of the Student Government Association
of the Illinois Institute of Technology.
of the Illinois Institute of Technology.
I vow to fulfill my obligations
I vow to fulfill my obligations
to my constituents
to my constituents
and my duties
and my duties
as Vice President of Residence Life
as Vice President of Residence Life to the best of my ability.
So, unless there's anything else that I don't, thank you. Please, no objections.
I object purely for the reason of objecting.
That always
Thank
happens.
you.
No.
Not heard.
Does this mean I get my key back? Yes, I can get